How would the city approach something like that? Because you're taking part of that budget.
It takes a change in the charter. It's a vote by the population.
There's no way of getting around that.
No. It's just like changing the term limits.
Yeah.
So the citizens will get a whack at it, and they should. That's their money. Okay.
But your approach would at least would not cost the city additional.
No. You can't in this period of time. You can't come in and just whop a bunch of dollars on these folks. I mean, it's just wrong. And in fact, it doesn't need to be a lot of money, but somebody ought to be able to pay their mortgage or something and put a little food on the table, and then they can work part-time, but I'd like to see them dedicate more time. Someone like myself, I don't have but 3.5 people that work for me, and that sounds like a lot, but we're pretty busy with zoning and planning and all the constituent services. But I might decide that, I want to just keep what I have and then not pay myself. I think it's a personal choice, but it is an opportunity to open it up to more people and give the citizens more choices.
Karen West, what's your view on that?
Well, I surely didn't get into this for the money. I never even thought about pay. I mean, to me, it's a civic duty.
Do you think there's an argument that it could be something good for the city, though, as far as the widening the pool of candidates who seek council positions?
I didn't even come into this thinking about the money aspect of it. I look at this as it's a civic duty. It's like doing jury duty. I mean, if you are a person who cares about the direction of the city, the money aspect of it, I think you're going to get people in it for the wrong reasons. Maybe I'm being naive about this, but my gut feeling is, again, I did not come into this thinking about what the pay was. In fact, I wasn't even aware that there was a staff that was paid. I assumed everyone was on a volunteer basis. Sure, it would open it up to people, but what kind of people? I mean, people who are driven by the almighty dollar. And again, when is enough going to be enough? They start in at a certain price and then start manipulating what they feel they're worth. I mean, then all of a sudden you've got another government entity that keeps getting higher and higher in price.
I guess the argument that's been made on the other side is that council positions are still treated as sort of part-time positions, which anyone I think who's done the job would probably say that that's not really.
No, it's a full-time job. I'm assuming it's going to be a full-time job. Anything that's worthwhile is hard to do, and it is a full-time job. But expecting a pay or a raise in pay, I mean, granted, $20 per meeting, and you can't accept more than $40 a year annually. Well, I agree with Councilman Williams. It's something you can look at, but I just see a can of worms being opened up.
Thank you very much.
11:52 on KTSA. Greg Jefferson has the next question, and it will start with Karen West.
Okay, next year San Antonians are probably going to be voting on a nearly $600 million bond issue. I think it's the city's largest, or will be. Out of that, what are the District 8 infrastructure and parks needs that you want to see addressed?
Well, I'd like to see the roads that are currently under construction, Hausman, Crew, and De Zavala completed, and we need to get that done in a more expedient manner. The parks, right now, I hate to say this, but I hope the voters don't approve that bond issue. Again, the taxpayer is being hit really hard with the rate pays that they're already facing, and then having to have a bond issue coming up that's going to increase, where is the money going to come from? Ultimately it comes from the person who's out there trying to make their payments, send their kids to college.
Okay, great. Reed Williams, how about you?
Certainly the roads that are under construction are actually Prue, De Zavala, and Babcock. Hausman's not under construction, but it does need a significant amount of attention with the growth in that area. So that is the biggest single traffic problem we have in the district. I have got an agreement from the city manager and the mayor to allocate some money off these other projects to do the engineering on Hausman before the bond election, so we'll have the engineering done. The reason that these 3 streets are being done all at the same time is we got the money at the same time. You know, we did engineering, we let the contracts, and they're all working. I'd like to get Hausman out of phase and ahead of some of these other projects. That's the key to the growth and expansion we've had around UTSA. It's an east-west thoroughfare. We don't have too many of those. So I see Hausman as a very important project for us to get done. I also believe we have to be fiscally responsible about this. It might not be $600 million. It might be $540, it might be $580. It needs to be an amount of money that is appropriate within our debt carrying capacity so that it doesn't increase taxes. And those are things that we have to watch when that comes forward, is actually how much can we finance forward without getting us in a problem. And this really won't happen until after our budget. That'll give us a big push to see where we are, and that kind of give us an insight into what we can afford.
By getting into problems, are you talking about taking on a debt load that would require you to raise your property tax rates? Exactly.
That is a problem. Trust me, that is a problem, to raise your tax rate and to raise taxes in order to, at this time, fund the debt amortization of a bond election is very important, that we don't get it over the line. In other words, it needs to stay within our ability to amortize without a rate increase.
Any parks projects in mind?
You know, the parks projects in our district, we've been very fortunate. We've gotten Bonnie Connor Park. We adjoin Harburger Park. We've gotten a few other little pocket parks. And I see the money that the citizens voted on to finish and continue the linear parkway as very, very important. I mean, that's working in the district very well and helping areas like over at Babcock North and Oxbow to really renew those areas, and we need in that area. So I really see the park part of District 8 being taken care of with the linear parkways right now. You know, we still got a lot of work to do on several other parks. I mean, as far as just developing the ones we have. I want to see that development go forward.
Thank you. All right, our thanks to the candidates in City Council District 8, Caron West and Reed Williams. Thank you both for being with us today and answering all these questions. And also a big thank you to our 2 reporters from PLAZA.com, Greg Jefferson and Gilbert Garcia. Gentlemen, always appreciate it. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
And we will continue to visit in the challenged or contested City Council districts. We have several more of these coming up between now and Election Day. The audio podcast of this forum will be available on the Jack Riccardi page of KTSA.com this afternoon. It's 11:56 on 550 KTSA.